Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 50 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time, we tried to cross-examine Gant, we were pushing him into a corner, but then he decided to invoke his right to not testify, and went off to eat lunch. Probably a sandwich somewhere. Probably something toasted. I can imagine Gant would be the kind of guy who only likes to eat toasted sandwiches. He doesn't like just his bread untoasted. He probably likes the crispiness of it all, you know? Also melted cheese. I can imagine Gant being like a cheddar kind of guy, you know, like a sharp cheddar, like the kind that matches his suit coat, you know. I can imagine him also being like a fan of cheesy foods in general, like cheesesteak subs. I can imagine Gant being the type of guy who would love to eat a cheesesteak sub. And why am I getting off on this? Let's just continue on. Only I can go on like some tangent about Gant's eating habits, potential eating habits. If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been useless. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction with your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the evidence shattered in my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on the shattered jar. Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away this message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. Now the way I'm planning this out, this will be the final episode. I'm just gonna keep going. This will be a longer video, sure, but I think ending up on 50 episodes would be pretty good. There are no bonuses to this, so this will be the final episode. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case, but not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You are an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Why not? You do that for me. It seems you two might make up yet. Anyways, I just barely had enough time to move the body, as it were. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? What? I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry my bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuses for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. You treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay. Alright. Present the jar here. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you aren't aware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe. But how? I knew it! She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified. She gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gank got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. Especially the piece that was the most incriminating of all. That may very well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There was no way a name could have been written on the shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gen. At the time, he was looking for dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer that? No! No! Wait, I'm not the one who had trial here. Damon got arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar. And purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is this action called? Fabrication. But why would you do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma had killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And there's the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own.
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright said. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client! I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if? We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap! Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Sky, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore, except me. I will destroy you. And don't think I won't. I am a criminal and I will take you down, Sky. This course exam may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may now testify once more, for the final time. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gann help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor sword! You're the one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember seeing a picture like that.
Hunter must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I remember seeing a picture from her.
Hunter said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check the evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Oh, that is a chick. It's a chick detective. Open the book! Hey, there's a picture here. And notice how there's a piece of fabric cut out from the shirt.
Oh my! This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. That's because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged the scene.
Mr. Wright! That piece got out from his vest! Cut that piece!
Let's bossy find inside Chief Gann's safe. This.
It's a handprint! A cloth! It had fingerprints on it! Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer!
What? But those handprints. They're yours, Emma.
Right, your lip's turning all purple, Mr. Wright.
Anyways, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as we tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin cross-examination. Oh, there. Okay, let's move that off the screen. Yeah, you try to cross-examine, and Gann comes to the first scene like the cool man. I said something! I was eating my Reuben! It was toasted, it was good, it was cheesy, and then I said something was happening. I saw a panhandler constantly trying to get on this one guy's case to give him $1, and it made me think of Rhino here. So I just ran over here. I swam through the earth. Come now, legit. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Good. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid too late for that. What? You've already declined testimony. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be the risk the judge was talking about. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone. So then, what's your excuse, Rado? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked O'Neill Marshall called you. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is that true, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna save here! I know this sounds weird, but I'm saving at this point. Yeah, anyways, this is what it looks like when you save, when you do a load. Basically, you have it, you can load from either your save points or from the chapter start. Basically, a chapter start doesn't necessarily mean the beginning of the case. It means this section of the case. So, for example, it would start right where basically, after, you know the to be continued screen? The screen after that is the first screen of the next chapter. And that's where we would start off. But anyways, let's go back to our save points. We're back here. I don't like doing this because you can't save during an evidence present screen. So, frankly, this is the point where I'm saving because Gant's gonna have a little surprise for us. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I gotta think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? There's only one. There's the one that show evidence. Yes, Your Honor. Because no one does this. Everyone's like, because everyone knows about the bad ending. But I'm showing you the bad ending. Yes, because I actually fell into this trap the very first time I played this game. I was thinking, oh, nothing can go wrong for Phoenix if he presents the evidence. But just like how Danganronpa, but basically this game inspired Danganronpa 1 in that regard. Funny enough, both of those scenes where you get punished for actually going through with the game mechanics and presenting evidence happens in the 5th case. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence.
All right, the time's only gotta show it to them. Those prints have gotta be on the Chiefs.
No, then let's see this concludes as the evidence that shows who actually murdered Marshall. Okay, strip of cloth. That's a piece of leather clothing. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it! Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Rado has checked, haven't you? Well, who are they? They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies.
What? They're mine! So I really did do it!
See, I told you it was conclusive.
But this was not in your safe! That means it's possible you bought it!
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
But...
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No! No! Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lano was found guilty. Yeah, you get an instant guilty verdict. You get an instant guilty verdict. But thankfully I saved my game. So I can just go right back to it. That's right. I can just go back and I can do the real thing. Sucks if you basically saved right after that. Oh my gosh. If you saved after accepting the choice right before selecting the evidence, that would really suck because you'd have to do this entire thing over again. Okay, now just remember your evidence law, and then you know, hey, I can't do that. I'm not going to fall against instant death. Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gurns, you opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! You took Blaze's porno stash! Blaze trusted me with his full access porno stash, and you took it! And I got chances up and down for it! That's conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about!
Mr. Wright, why did you show them? We found it together!
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut off for some reason. You mean you have this In your safe? What? That means that you're police. Concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Now I have to call. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rado. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It occurred to me that I could use this situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dog convicted! When we rearranged the crime scene, I had 2 pieces of evidence. I did this before Lana arrived at the scene. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance. Of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? Who do you take me for? A fool? You take me for Gummy? Do I look like Gummy? Do I look like I get a pay cut every day? I lose a quarter a day? No. I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. Only partially by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricate all the evidence, what to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept 1 more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Rado, cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gas, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off from the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rado. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess it up here, victory is mine. Now we can show the evidence. Your Honor, I do have a piece of evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Yeah, you may think that, oh my gosh, this would result in a bad ending as well. But no, you have to show the strip of cloth here. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this off of the victim's chest. Oh yes! At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so cleanly. You mean? It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Ha ha ha! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rado had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You already know? You know his fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. And she'll be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to are... Emma Sky?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh! You're really something, Rado. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. You know, it brings a tear to my eye. How would you like to join the prosecutor's office? I'll arrange it. I'll pull my strings. I'll get you in there. You'll be Little Manny. I'll name you Little Manny, and it'll be beautiful. I'll get you one of his napkin things. So it's true, tragic but true. Mr. Curry really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? How you monster? The sky. You knew whose fingerprints those were all along. Yet you acted like she really didn't. The sky. It's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. I'll be like Blazy. I'll wear a lapel as if the show like some kill count. What's the matter, cat? Got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was a Muscog, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, that piece of cloth. What could possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut? So now that I think about it, I've been thinking about this for quite some time. But why, if Garrett was so convinced on making it look authentic, why wouldn't he just stab it with the blood still there? Like, stab it with the piece of cloth still there, get it all blood soaked, and then cut it out, Really make it look like he was covering up for Emma, See where the piece of that's got? Yes. His shirt was showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all this blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's the only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Oh my god. No, I'm not going to do that now. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword. No! That's nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground as he was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jaw with the victim's blood. Then he broke the jaw on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago, that you personally cut out this bloodless piece of cloth in the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? But though, through this very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finished. Objection! That was close, Rado. You almost had me. Sorry, but you have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Archie? Earlier, Rado here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rado? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair!
Did you actually think you could arrest me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, true. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? You purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Yes. I did not. Certainly. I refused to present evidence at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then, it's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No one here! Don't listen to his lies! His dirty lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't let him! Manny was right! This guy's all slime! Damn it, I should have listened to you, Manny! I'm sorry, Manny! There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not a violation of law, then do so now. Evidence law! This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? Why is there a chick on the cover? Why is there a chick just sitting up there just like he's Sherlock Holmes? What is this, some damn chicken farmland? I don't know what the hell's happening. I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, MS Guy's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case of trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Taming Gant. You yourself confessed to the certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes! No! It was then that you approved this cloth. As conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before the prosecutor marshal in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. David Gant! The killer was you! No. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing cowboy scum! For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me! One of your crime was exactly petty. I'm the chief of police! I could take a poo on the street and no one would mind! Because that poo was a bit of justice! He wanted to reinvestigate the case! Damn it! Why couldn't we find him as a replacer? Lip replacer! He was beautiful! He would do his job! He would ask questions! All he would ask is that you would give him $5 and a gift card to Subway every Christmas! I don't even know where that came from. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my one chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he had to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He told me to open up the evidence room and take it out. It's not too late. I'll hand this to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a little panicked too. I had a bad feeling, but I never knew it would come to this. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. You would only increase the amount of blood and you couldn't finish what you started. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I know who my stumble in, so I was wiping up. I was worried so much about the blow I didn't realize my mistake. Detective Gumshoe's bloody handprints. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone had to start off somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, we couldn't think of any other way to move the body. We broke the trunk, but what's the big deal? You pull a lot more than us detectives. Hell, you cut our pays and probably add to your own. What does this have to do with anything? You're horrible. How could you get this guy involved in all this? Well, she hadn't much to lose as I am. Damn it, Oswald, now you're ruining my lines! Well, she had much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I feel bad for having to do it. I couldn't sit around and pick and choose what to take. Well, you left the jar fragments and gloves. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crime than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got a hand to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, what are you doing in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. If you want to take them on alone, you'll figure out what's needed. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend! I'm sorry too, Damon Gantz. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine, now that you have Rado here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. You see, if I listen carefully, I can hear it right now. The sound of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Guy, you no longer have any reason to keep this silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help before he forged evidence, up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Guy. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. What high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. The sky, and you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You get no smile, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't earn a smile. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few years. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing! Liar! I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. There's your smile, you bastard. Take it. Stop it! I only did my job! In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. The sky? Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of the murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as an accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone for far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. The final one of this game. We have completed all of the cases. We just have one final conclusion scene, one more set of credits, and it's done. That is all. The court is adjourned. February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Now, Emma, why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended.
I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well.
You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything! Oh! Guess I am! I'll come back later! Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Make that detective run all around while on duty. And I'll be out if you call me here. I see happy of people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology.
It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it.
That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in all that mess.
Sis!
I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. Now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew.
But sis, you were only doing it for me!
No.
Huh?
I turned my back on you that day, and hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you.
Sis!
I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry.
But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now.
You're happy?
Of course! You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back, and now you have!
Oh, Emma. Emma. I'm sorry, that voice always just really helps. Yes, and now you get the hug. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our path. And once we find our path, we can move all of our past mistakes towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt looking at those two sisters' makeup. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. But me? Thank you both for all you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. And they never met again. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding. Come over here. Stop hiding behind that pie plant. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. But I love how every one of Edgeworth's fights in this game he looks utterly pissed off and like he doesn't want to be here. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me! No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't change my own mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gat was right. You despise crime. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. If you want to take them on alone, you'll figure out what's needed. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight alone, one needs a weapon. It's scary, but I've been thinking the same thing for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gat. I might try to wear orange, Right? You come in one day and I'm wearing orange. Help me, Right? Edgeworth's wearing orange. Help me, I'm transforming! I want to go swimming right now! Edgeworth goes to the werewolf transformation, the full moon, his suit turns orange. He starts going gloves on his hands, his hair turns into a lightning bolt. No! That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. I don't think God killed my father in an elevator! You said in order to fight crime alone, one needs a weapon. That may be right, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to prevent evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah, what is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show me what I'm talking about.
Evidence. And neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find our own. Easy, the evidence list.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to write a cryptic note that will make everyone think I committed suicide, but I didn't. I'm writing it in a metaphorical sense.
Mr. Edgeworth!
If you will excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever, you just remember, what happened in this trial can either make or break you as a prosecutor. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Wright. But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I'd better be getting back too.
Okay, I'll come visit you.
It seems we both still have a lot to learn. Here, this is a little something for you.
Scientific investigation!
It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
Thanks, sis! I will!
And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Gumshoe screaming face! Just Gumshoe's laugh. That was the sprite they chose of all the Gumshoe sprites. My journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it that I can... There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she doesn't want to be out of jail like this.
But
I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak out for 30 minutes. What'd you bribe her with, Gumshoe? Your shoe? What money do you have to bribe? 50 cents? Your life savings? Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh?
way to go, detective! I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright is the one who will be pointing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I go forward with my pal? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Since we're all here, why don't we all go together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
No! Oh no! Oh, phew. Oh my gosh! I was afraid of thinking, oh god! I can't do it! I can't lift the objection! I can't do the mic! Okay. Now I can discuss my views on this. Anyways, you can read this while I discuss my opinion. Anyways, this project has been special to me because the Ace Attorney franchise has just been a big part of my life for so many years. I wouldn't be where I am today without this franchise and all the great people I met because of it. So to play this game for myself, do a playthrough of it, just really has been a special moment. I know I've been spastic all throughout, just basically like I've been all over the place, but I have to say that it was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Like, my next series is not going to be another visual novel. I am going to be taking breaks. I already have. Basically, I'm going to try to get back to that one Let's Play that I had to cancel because of technical difficulties that was replaced with this game. And try to get that one. But if I can't continue it, then I will merely continue on to a backup game I have, which I am fully prepared for. Oh, wait, I want to read this one. I do this is the coordinator to the takeout, Billy! Billy will watch some saying too! Can you believe it? I'm in the woods security guard! My partner's keeping an eye on me and transfer me today! I'll show them no! Someday, I'm gonna make detective! Yes, sir! Then I can begin with that Gumshoe! God help us all. If Gumshoe's your influence, what hope is there for the entire department? Okay, anyways. As you can tell, Gant is one of my favorite villains in the series because he has so much ambiguity to him in a good way, and that you can argue, like, was he truly evil? Because frankly, he did what he did for the right reason, in a sense, because he wanted to see Dark evicted. He knew it was true. So he was more or less setting it up, partially to get Dark evicted, but he was also trying to blackmail Emma. But the biggest thing as to why Gant may not be entirely evil was in that last scene, as you saw, where basically he was discussing how basically Phoenix and Edgeworth were the future, in a sense, how a good age was coming about. He seemed almost happy to know that Phoenix and Edgeworth were capable of the task, that they would basically do a much better job than he could. And not to mention, Gant's advice about working alone and knowing what you need to do, Edgeworth does actually take that into consideration in some way, shape, or form in a few ways during these investigation games. And oh, Angel Star, yes, her and her boyfriends. Speaking of which, at the time of recording this, I had just finished writing the Angel Star Dancing Queen parody, Coffin Queen. Yeah, and in fact, I actually sent it out right before recording this. So yeah, so yeah, like the person I'm co-writing that whole song fic with, they'll know when this episode's being recorded. But anyways, let's get going. Yeah, but like I said, this has just been so much fun for me. And it's just going to be so much fun going through the rest of the series. But like I said, I am going to be taking a visual novel break. Because frankly, there's only so many visual novels a man can tolerate. Man, Mr. Let's... Whoa! Way to diss Phoenix, Judge! Yeah, but really, just... You will always notice that this game has that the Ace Attorney series has a different feel from the Danganronpa, where it's a lot more happy-go-lucky. It has a lot more closure to it, where it's like the typical happy ending. Where every game is pretty much a happy ending in a sense. Or rather, even though negative things happen, you at least get like a good vibe from it. Anyways, the history about this case. The reason why there are two sets of credits is because this case was originally added onto the DS version of the game. So that way, basically, it could show, oh, we have capabilities. We can use the DS's capabilities too. Anyways, like I said, this case was not in the original game. The original game ended with turnabout goodbyes. The original 2001 Game Boy Advance game, that is. Heck, when this game was released on the WiiWare on the Virtual Console for the Wii, which was actually where I first played it, this was a DLC case, funny enough. It was 100 Wii points. Nothing much, but if you didn't get it, you'd be getting only turnabout goodbye. And the bellboy, Edgeworth orders tea from the gatewater. Oh, look at this! Oh, you killed yourself. Well, too bad I didn't get you. No, Edgeworth did not commit suicide, even though he basically writes Prosecutor Edgeworth is dead, making everyone think that. He's more or less in the metaphorical sense. But yeah, if the end of this case felt weird, it's because they had to accommodate that for this. They had to, in a sense, bridge the first game and the second game together. Emma goes to Europe, which is why basically Phoenix doesn't really mention this case so often. In fact, Emma doesn't really come back in the series until the investigation games. As Emma in her book, she's like, I'm gonna check the evidence! With Detective Chicky. With Detective Chick. Oh, yeah, you have to investigate the evidence. Yes, there's another picture, there's an envelope. Yes. Lana and little Emma and Lana. Yes. Come on, go on. Don't freeze on that screen. I want to just get through this. Capcom. Yes, the game is over. There are no bonus parts. Yes, this isn't like Danganronpa where there's going to be like 500 bonus parts. Oh my gosh. Yeah, speaking of which, I may actually go back to Danganronpa and V3 and work on maybe doing a boss compilation of the Monokuma sets. I mean, give that a little bit of closure. I may do it, I may not. But anyways, regardless. Oh, one little bonus I could show you basically what it looks like when you do a new game. Basically, when you do a new game, it doesn't just reset all your saves and basically sends you back to the first trial. You have nothing else. You have every trial unlocked from the beginning. We have First Turnabout Sisters, Turnabout Samurai, Turnabout Goodbye with Manfred, and Rise from the Ashes. As you can tell, I have to cough, sorry. Rise from the Ashes does not have any official concept art for its screen. I find it kind of weird that they went through all the trouble of making this case, only to give it nothing. It has nothing. Hell, even the first Turnabout has something. But anyways, I think now's a good time to end things off. I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this series. You're a great viewer. I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. And with that, I'll see you for the next series, which I'll be uploading soon. Bye.